That's appearing on people's screens.
Yeah.
There we go. Right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Grow Your Own Grub celebration, which, like so many things this year, is virtual. We'd normally be sat hopefully in a school, but we've decided again this year just to go virtual. So thank you very much for joining us this afternoon if you're watching live, or if not, watching this on our YouTube channel. I'd like to obviously welcome lots of people who are hopefully watching this today. And we'll be doing some introduction shortly, telling you a little bit about the project and obviously announcing our winners sort of officially today. So I'm going to very briefly just introduce the team that are behind the Grow Your Own Grub competition this year. So if I could just turn to Daxa first to just introduce yourself, if that's okay.
Hi, yes, so I'm Daxa. I work in public health as a program officer in the prevention team, and yes, we kick-started this competition a few years back with the team that will be introducing themselves shortly, and it's been a pleasure to work with them. But yeah, we've been going for a few years, and we've all enjoyed being part of the competition with you all.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Daxa. Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Didier. I'm the Food for Life Programme Manager in Leicester City. And what I like about the Grow Your Own Grub is that it really ties together that where food comes from, growing the food, cooking the food, and linking all of that together, which is something that we encourage schools to do in Food for Life. So, and it's fun. It's fun for us to do with the schools. And it's fun for the pupils, enjoy it as well. So it is learning through fun.
Brilliant, thank you, Lisa. And Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam Woods from the Conservation Volunteers. So we're involved primarily on the food growing side of the project, although we love to see all the menus as well that people come up with. And as Lisa said, it's just a lovely thing to be involved with. I really enjoyed coming and seeing those schools that I got to see this year, and seeing all the wonderful barrows. So yeah, it's a great thing to be involved with.
Well, thank you, Sam. And for those that don't know, my name's Lee Jowett. I'm Sustainable Schools Coordinator at the City Council. And my role is kind of supporting the team with the Grow Your Own Grub competition. So this year, most of, if not all of kind of our team's work's been through Amy, who was just very recently left us. So I'm the step-in, I'm the second class presenter today, I think. Amy will be doing this otherwise. So brilliant. A little mention to Amy just to say thank you as well. So this Grow Your Own Grub project fits in very much within our Leicester Climate Emergency Action Plan, because we know that food growing and climate change, climate action very much linked together very strongly. Obviously directly through plants absorbing carbon dioxide, plants provide lots of habitat and food for pollinators that we know are having big problems at the moment. Things like trees, so when we're planting trees, fruit trees and things, they provide shade and cooling to lots of the mitigation, as well as slowing down rain. So when we do potentially get flooding, it does reduce some of that effect. We also know that roots help soil stay more stable, and they help to spread water, and certainly improves healthy soil really does then capture the carbon in the soil. We know, perhaps we talk a lot about carbon in the air, but actually carbon locked away in soil is one of the biggest stores that we know about. Plus growing food helps us to grow and stay healthy, which I guess on its own is a really important thing. Lots and lots of benefits that we know to do with food growing as well. I've got a little allotment in my garden here, and certainly it helps with lots of different ways, things like seasonal growing. We grow what we want to eat. We know sort of from young people and children that actually when they grow things, they're much more likely to eat that food than if it comes in packaging from a supermarket. Lots of opportunities for healthy air and exercise and meeting with friends, sharing ideas, and also kind of improves our mental health and well-being. And obviously links to kind of find out about wildlife and nature that sometimes we don't see in our own school grounds. So I'm going to hand over to Lisa, if that's okay, who's going to tell us a little bit about the competition and how this came about.
Hello. Yes, it's been a competition that's been run for quite a long time, and each year we've sort of changed some small detail to how it looks today, and I think we've got a really good competition here now. And like I said at the beginning, the link between the menus and what you grow is quite important for children to realise where food comes from, how it's grown, and like Lee was saying, they're more likely to eat it as well. So when you decide on the 3-course menu, we do ask with a little bit further on the menu, we do about the Eat Well guide. And that's the 3-course menu comes from the Eat Well guide based on that. And we ask you to grow 5 ingredients out of that menu that you feel comfortable growing. And some schools grow more, and sometimes, well, some schools did actually put in some companion planting this year as well, which is always really interesting. And it's the growing area in your school where you grow other things, or if you were growing more things than you were going to put in the wheelbarrow, that's judged by one of our team. And then this year it was displayed at the Abbey Pumping Station on Saturday, 3rd of July, which we were lucky that there was no real big COVID restrictions. The sun was shining. It actually went really well, and we had a lot of people visit, and in fact a lot of people who were passing by who weren't involved in the schools came along to have a look. So that was another positive aspect of displaying and showing to lots of people around the city and visitors to the city of what we can do with in the schools. So it was a really positive day. So that's the 3-course menu is designed by the pupils using the Eat Well guide. And again, it's important to, when you're looking at that, to think what can I actually grow out of here as well. So it's best to have both that in mind when what the children are designing as to what actually can we grow out of that. And when we're looking at the menu, you're looking at the nutritional value, creativity and presentation. All those things are really important. And also, if you go out for a meal, which, you know, when we do any training in schools around school meals, we obviously, these are the sorts of things that you personally would look for if you were going out to eat somewhere. But it's also things that, you know, the children value as well in that, if they're eating at school, they're also interested in, you know, nutritional, creatively, is the menu really interesting for them, and presentation's important even in a school meal. So all those 3 things can represent other areas of when anyone's eating, really. And then the winners, there's 4 here, and Auckland School work with children who have difficulties in learning and different aspects, health reasons as well. And what we really love is the symbols at the top, and they use these regularly in the way they communicate with the students. And you know, you just know that broccoli is broccoli, and with a little symbol, carrot. It's very and I like the little Scottish flag as well for the raspberries, as well as to where things had come from. So it's just a super menu, and the drawings from the children, excellent. You actually know what that is, and it looks tasty, and it's just a drawing there. So that was really well done to them. And then Stokeswood had a lovely theme, and the menus presented beautifully here. And then they carried that on for the presentation in their meal barrow. And there might be a photograph of that, I can't remember, later on, of their meal barrow, but it was lovely, and well thought out. And then the Nurturing Roots group, I think what's special about this menu is it's using simple food, but it actually looks really ambitious. You know, the pictures of, you know, a shepherd's pie and starters chicken salad. It looks amazing when you make that, and they're really using quite basic ingredients to create something quite special. So that's lovely about that. I mean, especially, you know, the look of that rainbow birthday pancake, fabulous. And then the Mulmaker Hill primary, they really have put some thought into that. You can see from the Eat Well guide. It's a well thought out menu in regards to that guide, and also ambitious as well, but it would look ambitious if we looked at that garlic and thyme roast chicken. I mean, even just saying that, you can imagine that would smell beautiful as well with using those thyme and using herbs in that.
Brilliant, thank you, Lisa. We'll hand over to Sam, who's going to pick up about the school grounds bit of the competition.
Yes, so it was really lovely to be able to go out. Different people went out to different school grounds, and one of the things that we really like to see is how your available space has been used. We know that some schools have hardly any green space and some schools have a lot. So it's not really so much about how much space you've got or how much you're doing, but more about what creativity you're bringing to your school grounds. And thinking about not just the crops that you're growing for us, the people, but also how is that space working for the wildlife, especially our pollinating insects that we know are so important. So we look at how well the space is cared for and what kind of variety of crops are in the grounds as well, or in planters around the school grounds. And then the X factor. So this is what we really, really like to see, is how is all of that growing with the meal barrow and the school grounds? How is that coming across into the curriculum? What lessons are being taught around this? How's it being used to help everybody to learn about cycles, about plants, about nature, about food and cooking? How is all that lovely, juicy information brought through by using the growing in the grounds and the barrows? And then, very importantly, how do we think about the environment as well? So we are very keen in Leicester to have peat-free growing, because we know that peat is a non-renewable resource. So how can we have our peat-free compost? Where can we get that from? And also, how are we making our own compost if we have space to do that? So are we collecting water on the site? Are we collecting our own seeds? Are we using recycled materials? So all of that is taken into consideration when we think about your school grounds. Could I have the next? Yeah. There's the next slide. So these were the School Grounds Awards. So at the Jamaica made a good start with some planters. One of the schools that don't have a lot of green space. A really good start, a new entrant to the competition. So well done, Jamaica, on your Bronze Award. And then our silver category. So we had Oakland School, Scraptoff Valley Primary and St Patrick's. So again, the silver category means you're making a really good start, really getting in there, thinking about some of those issues that we've talked about, but still some way to go for next year to get up to that gold level. So well done, all of you. And then the gold category. So I didn't get to see all of these in person, but I did get to see some of them, which was very exciting. So well done to all of you gold category winners. So that is Catherine Junior School, Christ the King Primary School Infant Site, Dovelands, Mayflower, Moacre, who very excitingly have some bees now, as well as lots of grub growing. So they have some bees up there. Well done to them. Netherhall School, Nurturing Roots, and St Barnabas, St John the Baptist and Soakswood. So well done, all of the gold category winners, but well done to everybody who got involved. Wonderful stuff. We really love to come see your grounds. It's great. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Sam. And we're going to hand over to Daxa, who's going to tell us a little bit about our wonderful day we had at Abbey Pumping Station.
Absolutely. So to showcase all the wonderful wheelbarrows that you've been working on, we booked the grounds at the Abbey Pumping Station on Saturday the 3rd of July, and it was a beautiful day. So we could see all your beautiful wheelbarrows, and we invited all the schools, the parents and people to come along to vote for their favourite wheelbarrow. And as you can see, a few of them here, and it was just a great opportunity to meet the schools as well, and talk to the children that were involved. And it was the final time that the wheelbarrows were going to be judged, so people had the opportunity to vote for their favourite wheelbarrows, and you know. Lee and his team were really good because they made everything COVID safe, and Abbey Pumping Station were really accommodating for all our needs. So it was just a lovely day, and we could see all the hard work that had gone into the wheelbarrows, and you can see that here on the photographs. But like I said, everybody was giving voting slips, and they voted for their favourite wheelbarrows, and it was just a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day. I can't say anything more than that. So these are the top 3 wheelbarrows that came out top on the day of the judging of Abbey Pumping Station. We were on first place. We had Nurturing Roots. Second place went to St Patrick's, and finally, like Lisa said, Stokes Wood Primary School was Lisa was talking about earlier. And then before we go into the next slide, I want a bit of a drum roll here. And the top 3 wheelbarrows from the whole competition. And now in third place, we had Stokes Wood Primary, because this is where we tally up all your scores from looking at your grounds, looking at your wheelbarrows, and looking at your menus. And these were the top 3 wheelbarrows and the schools that came out on top. And like I said, the third place went to Stokes Wood Primary School. Second place was Netherhall, and the final drum roll goes to Nurturing Roots, who were the overall winners this year. So well done to you all. Congratulations. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Daksha. So yeah, some fantastic entries there. And for the first, second and third prizes, each school should be receiving this week some gift vouchers for Coles Nursery to be able to spend a little bit more money in the garden. So they're on the way. Everyone else should have received their certificates a few weeks back. So if you haven't, do get in touch with us on the email address, which we'll see at the end, because we know sometimes things do go missing in the post. But I'm going to hand back to Lisa now, who's going to tell us a little bit about Nurturing Roots, and then I think we're going to get to meet some of the Nurturing Roots group.
Yeah, well, actually, I've got some questions for the Nurturing Roots group. Are they? I know they're here. Mm-hmm. Hello.
Are you with us, Nurturing Roots?
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello. How are you all doing?
We're good. How are you all?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Excited to be here. Thank you.
So I think some of the questions that other schools would be interested in is about, where did your ideas sort of come from? Did you start with what you've been growing? Did you start with the menu?
I think we started with the menu, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we got together with all the kids and asked all of them first what they thought they want.
Oh, we have some pictures we had a meeting with all the children, and we all discussed the kind of foods that they liked to eat, and we talked about different food groups, so carbohydrates, proteins, and all the. We wanted to think about what exactly they were eating, how it will benefit their bodies, and
what we can grow.
Yeah, and then out of that, what can we grow? And kind of just took off from there. And then we all started sharing ideas about what kind of foods do we eat, ingredients
and recipes.
Yeah, recipes. So we had an interesting list of recipes and ideas of what they could put on the menu. And then from there, we all kind of voted.
Yeah. Started with the kids, really, and ends with the kids.
Yeah.
Yes, it was full democratic process with voting and everything. That's brilliant. The other thing as well, I want to ask was, how long have you been growing food?
So we started off in 2016, and it was kind of a long, slow process. So our first harvests were actually just potatoes and maybe some tomatoes and things. And slowly, as people joined and brought in new different ideas, some people left, others joined. So since 2016, we've tried to improve every year, and I think that has been the case. I mean, we have pictures from when we first started, and you can see it was an overgrown mess.
And that's a better picture, actually, what we've got there.
Yeah, that's after, the digger came and cleared everything up. So, you know, from that to slowly.
We started off digging in the ground, actually. We thought that, you know.
Oh yeah, physically, you know, digging.
All of us ladies and the kids were all getting in there, digging out all of, what was it, bindweed, the
Oh,
roots.
yeah.
Oh, they were a nightmare.
Yeah.
The soil was not that, the quality of the soil as well was like clay.
Yes.
It was very hard to dig.
The water sodden as well, without puddles at the end of every autumn.
And then we got the grant, and from there, like, we were told that we should do
no dig.
No dig, raised beds, no dig, because as women with kids, that's much easier for us to manage, which is 100% true.
Yeah, it's been a blessing, really. Much easier with the no dig.
Yeah, so the
bindweed disappeared.
Yeah,
we just covered it, and you know, we wish we'd thought of that sooner, heard of it sooner. But you know, better late than never. And it's been 2 years now that we've been doing the no dig.
Yeah, so the grants really kicked us off in that area. We weren't able to do that before the grants because we didn't have the funds to get everything we needed to get the no dig started.
Yeah, the woods that we got.
Yeah,
we
got the woods.
You know, got the good quality, long lasting
and the soil.
Wood. Yeah, compost. Need a lot of compost.
Yeah.
Really helped.
We had
the grant.
one ton. We had a ton of compost, which we managed to share. I don't know if you could see at the back of the shed, there was like a pile of grass, and there was like a big mountain of like carpet, but that had amazing topsoil in there. Mm-hmm. So we were like bit by bit taking
gradually digging out soil every now and again until that pile reduced, and now we have a nice play area there. Yeah, that's where compost now resides.
Yeah, that's our composting area now. I don't know if you can see in our more recent picture, there's like compost bins on the one side.
Yeah, that photograph, those two photographs are amazing. You can see the hard work that's gone into that. But also, I think what's important is what you said. It was a gradual process, and you do start on a smaller scale and then build that up. So. Yeah. That you did absolutely the right thing, and it's not there are never any mistakes. I know Sam will back me up on this. There's never any mistakes in gardening. There's just sort of happy learning.
Yes. Our head gardener says that as well. She goes, you give it a go. If it grows, it grows, and if it doesn't grow, you learn something.
You try again.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah, exactly. We just learn as we go along.
That's really, really interesting. Thank you. I've got another question. I've got two more questions. Did you have families involved helping?
Yeah. I mean, from day dot, that was the idea, that it's going to be family oriented. So we have the dads come along as well, and they kind of do some of the backbreaking work. We have the teen boys come along sometimes, and they're the ones who've laid out the crazy paving, and that's really hard work because those blocks are quite heavy. The teens built our fence for us as well. You know, banging in the posts and.
The children painted,
hammering away.
We got our greenhouse where we initially started off trying to use a polycarbonate greenhouse. We got it secondhand, and when we tried to build it, we all got together and started building it without a manual. But we managed to do it, and then it didn't stand very long because of the wind. So
I think we had a windstorm.
Yeah, it was
blew away.
We managed to make use of it a little bit, but then they all got together and kind of just rebuilt it from. From
the ground up, literally, with wooden posts and plastic around the sides, and so that was I think it's what you'd call a labor of love, but everyone does join in, and we don't all go in at the same time. So you have sometimes one family is going in, or sometimes we'll have just the kids are in there, sometimes it's just the teen boys, sometimes it's dads going in, but it's very much the whole family's involved.
That's excellent. That's really good. And like I say, it helps sort of share out some of that the work that needs doing at particular times as well. It does take a bit of planning, doesn't it? Do you have any other tips for some of the other schools?
Like we had a rota.
Top tip.
Top tips. It's teamwork. That's it. Everyone shares out a job. We all chip in wherever we can, because if we leave it to like one person, obviously it is very tiring. And there's so much to do, so much planning required. Start early with your planning, thinking about what you want to grow and when to start sowing the seeds. I think Sister Salaha, our main person who helps us planning of when to sow out the seeds and everything, she's really on top of making sure she gets everything out.
Yeah, she researches as well, and she passes on good tips to us. I think the passion of the adults passes on to the kids as well, because watching, obviously, the love and the
kids, they love sowing the seeds, right?
the love that the adults show towards obviously the plants in the ground and just the whole process, I think the kids pick up on that and they share with us and we share with them in that sense, because we are also learning from the kids just as much as they're learning from us, I think. And also, you know, one person isn't doing everything sort of thing. It's all shared. So if even when we go on the plot, you know, there's watering to do, there's weeding to do. So there's a list sort of shared on the group that this is what needs to get done. And whoever's on at the time, they just dig in, you know, get to work.
Yeah. I should mention as well, we don't stop experimenting. We're always trying new things. And you just see where things go from there. I mean, this year has been interesting for us with our growing because we usually have an abundance of tomatoes, and this year I think we started a little bit later with getting our tomatoes out. So we've learned, you know, to make sure we get those out earlier because our tomatoes didn't ripen this year. But we've had amazing chilies and our peppers this year. They really did well, which I think is the first year we've had a good harvest of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just get everybody involved, you know, get the kids' ideas in, see what they think, what did they want to grow as well, what do they want to eat.
Yeah.
All that contributes to having a success on the plot. And like Sister Aisha says as well, there's no right or wrong way. What might work for some people might not work for others. And what might work one year might not work the next year as well.
Yeah, that's true as well. Like I said, this year tomatoes were, and we've asked Sam on that, where I think a lot of people found tomatoes quite well. And
even Monty Don lost his tomatoes to blood this year. So.
and I think that's about connecting with the outside and the seasons as well, isn't it? It brings you to life more when you're working outside, and that, you know, is really influential. Temperatures, weather, there's really quite a lot of learning, isn't there, around?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's it. Our kids, they all pay attention to all these details, which they probably would have not noticed before. Which that's like for our homeschooling kids, that's exactly what we want. We want them to see learning in every experience that they do, and this is where the allotment provides that for them.
Well, that's great. I think
kids building
other questions as well.
Yeah, I think Daxa's got a hand up for a question, I think.
Yeah, labour of love is the phrase of the day today for me. I like that. And there were some really good tips there that you can share with the school. So I really like them too. So well done, you guys. All I wanted to say at this point was you mentioned the grants, and I just wanted to mention that to the other schools as well that might come online a bit later. Just to say, we do have grants that we can give out to schools if they want to start a growing project. If you just contact myself or Sam, who's also on this call, and we will be able to help you with some grants out to help you with your project. So yeah, do get in touch with us.
Thanks, Daxa. Amy's asked, have you started planning yet for next year's competition yet, Nurturing Roots?
We haven't started planning yet, no.
I think we're trying to make the most of the winter season and getting ready for the winter. I think we take every season as it comes rather than too far ahead. I think when we start thinking about the menu for next year, I think it'll be nearer to the time probably, because our appetites would have changed by then as well.
We've already got the dates penciled in for the next year's display event.
Yeah, we'll have it
happening.
I'm sure by nearer to the time, I'm definitely sure we'll be ready for it, and the kids will have lots more experimented recipes to probably share.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Any other questions from anyone or any other sort of comments?
Just to say, I sort of saw the very early stages of this group evolving, and I just think it's amazing what you've done. And there's lots of things that they haven't sort of said, but they're making amazing compost teas and doing just amazing amounts of ecologically focused things as well. So it's just lovely to see you have this success.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thanks.
We did learn a lot from you as well, though, Sam, and with the concrete tea and coming down to Graceworks. That was really inspiring for us because we got to see what we could do, what potential we have if we all work together, and Graceworks is definitely an amazing example for us.
Farm to fork right there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think Aisha said love to collaborate with a school that's doing beekeeping, so maybe Sam, it might be worth just putting in touch with each other.
Yeah, definitely, I'll do that. I'll definitely I'll make a note right now to do that when I come off the call.
And I think just before we move on then to Lisa, just to sort of finish off the last couple of bits, just so you know, Nurturing Roots, you might be able to see that on screen, but we do have a trophy that's been engraved, which will be coming your way shortly in the next week or so.
Yes.
So that'll be yours to keep for the rest of this year until next year's competition. So yeah, just let you know that's on its way to you. Just work out where to drop that one off.
Yeah, I'll send you the details shortly.
Perfect, brilliant. Thank you very much. So we're going to move on to Lisa then, if that's okay, just to remind people about our other competition that we're running at the moment.
I
Oh, I think you might be muted, Lisa.
I think it's Sam.
Oh, sorry, Sam.
Yes, so we are still running our pumpkin garden competition. So hopefully your pumpkins and squashes, courgettes are nearly ready for harvesting. So don't forget to send us all your photos of your squash gardens, your pumpkin gardens, and don't forget to also make the best use possible of your squashes by making sure you cook with them. So there's a lovely range of recipes available, I'm sure, through Food for Life that Lisa might want to comment on, but I think that went out with the packs that you can make lots of delicious things with your squashes and pumpkins. And then please do also use your pumpkin shells, the bird feeders, if you get chance, and also remember to compost them when they're completely done, so that we return that goodness to the earth for next year's pumpkins. So, but yes, do send the your pictures in. We're looking forward to seeing them.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Sam. So I get the wonderful job of wrapping up our celebration today by first of all just sort of saying thank you to everyone that's been involved. So that's obviously our judging team, which has been Lisa, Daxa and Sam, and to Amy as well, who's kind of done all the legwork in the background. So a really big thank you to everyone that's been the judges. Also a big thank you to our catering team at City Catering, because they were involved with the judging of the menu this year. To our colleagues at Abbey Pumping Station that helped us with our space, and kind of all the schools and all the staff and all the parents and all the children who entered our competition this year. We know it's not been the easiest year, very much like last year, and we're hoping that this next year coming is going to be even more sort of back to normal. So just a really big thank you, and keep an eye out for the next year's competition, which will be coming out later next half term. And as always, if you do want to get in touch with us, you've got individual contacts for us, but also our Grow Your Own Grub at leicester.gov.uk. We can pick up any questions, any comments. And Sam said we'd love to see photos of either the garden going on during the year, or kind of ready for your pumpkin growing competition. But have a fantastic, lovely afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you very much, everyone.
Well done, everybody.
Thank you. Well done.
Well done. Yeah, thank you.